Hey guys, welcome back to the Hybrid Network, and we've got one hell of a topic to talk to you about. So first things first, let's get the big bombshell out of the way. Yes, that Brian Michael Bendis is jumping ship to DC Comics. Yesterday we received the news that the Marvel Comics writer, mostly known for his work on the Ultimate Spider line back in 2000, and the Marvel Max series Alias, which introduced Jessica Jones, would be leaving his long tenure with the company for a multi-year exclusive contract with DC Comics. So this is kind of a big surprise. I don't think I'd ever have expected Bendis to leave Marvel. He's been one of their premier guys since the onset of the Ultimate line and has helped to shape a lot of their mainstream events and has worked to relaunch several books over there. So the idea that he'd jump ship like this is both confusing and very interesting for the future. But there's a few sites out there that have some apparent inside sources on why Bendis left. Keep in mind the info comes at us from Bleeding Cool, so take that however you will, but their inside sources claim that they've got the big scoop on just why this happened, and it may not be what you're expecting. So essentially the deal is that things were getting a little hot over at Marvel Comics. A lot of the creators he'd grown friendly with over the years had moved on, and apparently the last Marvel Comics Writers Summit had revolved around the negative feedback to a lot of the replacements the company was making to its flagship characters, with David Gabriel apparently being cited as telling Bendis that diversity doesn't sell, with this being made abundantly clear by the decision to have the Spider-Man comic focus once again on Peter Parker come 2018, while Miles Morales would be shifted to a new book titled Miles Morales Spider-Man, essentially taking away the flagship name from this newer character and relegating him to a side book, almost like a discount version of the character, which probably would have rubbed Bendis the wrong way, seeing as how he had worked the character up to be a worthy owner of the title, only to have it stripped away and all of that progress to be for nothing. Not only that, Bendis books just weren't selling well enough to justify a pay raise for the effort, which would contribute to some second thoughts when you stop to consider just how much the guy had on his plate. Though we should also take into account that not a lot except for Spider-Man and Star Wars are making big money over at the House of Ideas, and apparently the writer had covered pretty much all the characters he felt he could anyway, so the need for some fresh new IPs to play with would definitely seem enticing, though the big reason would supposedly stem from movies. If you guys remember, back in the early days of Marvel Studios, the company had their own creative committee made up of writers and executives from the comic side of things to help steer the movie division on where to take their characters and how to further flesh out their universe. Brian Michael Bendis, along with Joe Quesada, Dan Buckley, and Alan Fine were all a part of this committee, all working to look over script drafts and to lend a helping hand to crafting the universe, which was all fine and good until back in 2015, when news broke out that Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige didn't have to report to Ike Perlmutter or Marvel Entertainment anymore, but instead would report directly to Disney chairman Alan Horn, giving them more creative freedom and leaving the creative committee with only a passing influence over the TV division with Perlmutter, effectively shutting Bendis out of any influence on the direction of the Marvel movies. So on top of all of that, supposedly he was offered a spot alongside Jeff Johns to serve in the DC multimedia chair. Not only would Bendis have room to write within the DC pantheon, but he could have newfound cinematic influence within DC films and DC television, giving him further outreach than he could ever have at Marvel. Now, keep in mind none of this is official, but I can see some threads being made here, especially with the negative reaction Marvel has been receiving from a large majority of their comic line and just the direction they've been heading lately. Though the DC film thing seems a little iffy to me. I'm not sure they'd give him that much influence, but stranger things have happened. But what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. If you guys want to stick with the Hybrid Network, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all of our news pieces and editorials as they come out. If you haven't already, like us on Facebook and give us a follow on Twitter. And if you'd like to show your support to help us grow as a channel, consider donating to our Patreon so that we can create higher quality content for you, the viewer. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time.